All right, what up, y'all? I'm gonna do this for a minute. No reason I bought an iPhone, these AirPods, this goddamn Apple Watch. All right, what we doing today? So it's been on my mind for a minute to start doing videos. Sometimes talking about things that I just think about, things that I feel, experiences, philosophy, so forth and so forth. And I wanna call it basic observation because it's basically just something that I have basically seen through my own two eyes, and I want to share with the world. And that could be a matter of something that I've done a lot of research on, or it can be a unpopular opinion. It can be just an opinion, and therefore hoping to get feedback, to start debates, discussions with people out there that actually see it. So yeah, today I guess this will be not the first one, but the first official one. I have a couple of videos on Facebook and my page, but I also try to keep this one, I think, about like 10 minutes or so. So I'm just freestyling this. There's nothing scripted, written down notes. This is just what I'm feeling today and what's on my heart. First and foremost, so you understand me, my philosophy is coming from the basis of there's a God, all loving God, and through that lens, I am seeing the world from a perspective. Also coupled by my experiences, the things that I'm learning, and trying to, I guess, fit that into a box of reality. Good friend of mine, Trey Bullock, my boy, he told me this thing many years ago, and I'll never forget it. And this man, I love him so much because he gives me the flowers while I can smell them. Never holds back. And he told me I have this ability to make abstract things concrete. And he told me that right after I did some training, and he just stopped me. Well, it was me and my other boy, Naaman. Byers were sitting there talking, and he's like, man, I love when you teach because you just have the ability to take abstract things and make them concrete. And man, it threw me aback. And I don't think that, I would say that it's definitely one of the biggest compliments I've ever had in my life. And I thank you for that, Trey. I love you. And I appreciate all the words that you ever give me to keep me going. So I am trying to use that gift. Many people read my poetry. Many people say I should write a book. And quite frankly, I'll probably write an album before I ever write a book. And I end up using my voice before I use my writing. So hopefully this is a avenue to take, and I can build off of it. So with that said, what I want to talk about today. Today, my basic observation is don't let anyone justify your work. And I'll say that again. Don't let anyone justify your work. What do I mean by that? Today I had this interaction with someone, and it was a conversation, text, of course. It was a female. Talked to her for, I don't know, maybe a day or two. And at the end of the conversation, it went well, free-flowing, good things were said, lots of things in common, very intelligent conversation. She told me that she liked the conversation, and she thinks that I'm a great guy, and anybody that's with me will be happy to be with me. However, I'm not tall enough, and she likes to wear heels. Wow. What a thing to tell someone. Why does that become a topic of conversation? Because to me, to Brian Curtis, 31 years old, be 32 in May, speaks to that inner child that have heard so many times, you are this, and immediately following that, it is a but. It is a caveat. It is something that contradicts what it ever was just said, and ultimately says, you're good, but you're not good enough. And that's what I heard. You're good, you're not quite good enough. It's something that either holds you back or doesn't allow me to move forward. And I talked to, talking to many people lately, and I've just been noticing, especially after talking to my counselor last week, that a lot has been coming up for me, speaking to that inner child that just needs love, needs something, comfort, motivation, confidence, something. Just is asking for nourishment, or nurturing rather. And it's coming out in many forms, whether it's coming out in questioning myself, doubt, self-esteem issues, anxiety. A lot of people might not know that that's something that I suffer with every day. Personally, I look so cool and I am able to operate and function in this world at a high level. However, it is something that I deal with. And I think that is also that inner child that has had so many obstacles and has so many things to deal with day to day, especially up here, the hardest thing to control, that had to learn to live with it and had to learn to be functional and not also have the ability to not allow people to see what I was feeling in its raw form. If you're from the hood, you should know that you don't want to show your weakness. It's just like being in hate to compare the hood to a jungle, but I'm just saying this from a mere nature perspective, a primitive perspective, something that we could see through an easy example. An animal in the jungle, if they show weakness, then they look like prey. And therefore, hey, I didn't want to look like prey. Matter of fact, my name, Bryant, means strong, and that is the way that I wanted to present myself in this world. But therefore, that's also ego-based, because the inner self is there are still layers to get to, trying to get to that inner self. So back to that part of that but. I've heard that a lot, and mainly from females, honestly. It's a but. It's just that you're not moving enough to bring something out of me and to pull me closer to you. So weird, because I feel that I've had the opposite growing up. And I feel that, especially the women in my family, always made me feel enough. Always, never held back love from me or for me. Always made me feel beautiful as a man. Always made me feel like I was a young man. Gave me tons of respect and treated me with such respect that was just so strong, that allows me to also in turn look at women in my present day with such love and affection, because I was given such love and affection by women growing up. So they did give me a good foundation of worth. But as an adult, that changes and it gets hard. And then you notice that people just kind of don't give you what you need when you need it, or validate anything that may that you may feel about yourself. Um, and not being good enough is a constant theme that seems to come up. So, what's the practicality of that? If someone makes you feel less than what you're worth, well, all I can say is everyone has an intrinsic worth. So the reason I brought in the all loving God um, part at the beginning is because that is your intrinsic worth. You are a special human being. There is no one like you, regardless if you're an identical twin, uh, which I guess odd enough they share DNA. There's many different things to that, but you are a special, unique creation. There is no one like you. Our children are like us. Our parents are like us, but they are not us. One of the things that my beautiful daughter used to say, my little Carly, who I love so much, we would say, me and her mom would joke her and say, Carly, who do you look like, mommy or daddy? And it is incredible the innocence that children have that shows you such great wisdom or knowledge about uh, this universe in so many ways. And she said, she used to say at least, I look like Carly. And she could not be any more correct in saying that she looks like Carly. Because these fingerprints are ours. There are billions of people in the world. And yet, somehow, when I give my fingerprints, they're going to be unique to me. There is, if that doesn't blow your mind, that something can be replicated billions of times, along with the same type of creation, if you want to call it this machine or whatever, it's replicated so many times, but yet it could be something unique to me. That speaks mountains. And also it shows that there is an intelligent God that has the mind and the ability to create, just like I'm creating this video, to start putting to it. I visualized it. I brought it into manifest it, and now it is a creation. Well, I believe there is a God that did just that. And personally, I've subscribed to Jesus, and many people may subscribe to other things, but yet creation at its best is what you see right now. And therefore, since you are created, you have intrinsic worth. There is no one that can take that away from you. Your life is valued. Now, in the world, there's lots of suffering, there's lots of pain, there is lots of things that make us question those things. Intrinsic worth, what is life really worth? If there's a God, quite frankly. And man, those are tough questions to ask. But at the same time, here we are. And we live it every day to see that, wow, there is something that thought of me enough to give me breath, give me life, put me in our mother's womb, put us in our mother's womb, correction, and formulated us into this beautiful life, each one of us, that we are. And that has to be shared, and that has to be also something that you nourish within yourself. Now, how do you make yourself feel worthy? There's many ways. If you are a person like me that have those childhood traumas that you're trying to overcome, there are many different tools that you can use. One of them is affirmations. Affirmations are using words. You're saying you're verbalizing, and you are giving it time to tap into your subconscious. And that is going to be something that you basically automatically walk your life with. So, as an example, self-talk is really big. So if I tell myself every day, Brian, you are not that handsome. Why? Because, I guess you're single, been single for a long time now. And I don't think women are really that compelled to want to be with you, you know? Also, your personality is not that great. If I told myself that every day, I'll start to believe it, because I am giving that to my subconscious, and I am allowing myself to conform to that thought. And the strange part is that thought is right here in my head. So just as I did that, or just as events could formulate that conditioning for us, mainly up to the age of 8, that's like the biggest time. 0 and 8 is going to determine a lot of who you are, how you think, and how you go about living your life. And you can reverse that. So one thing that I practice is when I wake up in the morning and I open my eyes, first thing I do is I reach towards my phone, not to check social media, not to text someone, but I go on YouTube because I use my resources. YouTube is a big resource of mine. And I go to affirmations. Put on affirmations, let them play, and I verbalize those affirmations. I like long ones. I like affirmation tracks that are 10 to 30 minutes. Why? Because I got a lot of work to do. And quite frankly, the more work that I put into it, the more that I'll get out of it. And so therefore, first, as soon as I wake up, I go into it because my mind is in a theta state. Theta being a very creative state. When you wake up, you tend to think negative. You have all these thoughts flowing through your head because you're in a theta mind state. And therefore, you got a lot going on up there. And it is also one of the best times to do affirmations, when you wake up in the morning and before you go to sleep. If you're interested to know, well, what are the other mind states? There's alpha, which is free flowing. You're in your flow, the middle way. There's beta, concentration. I'm probably in a beta state right now because I'm concentrating on making this video and doing the task. And then there's delta, which is after theta, which is your sleep, unconscious. You are just at peace, I guess you could say. But you can also use affirmations while you sleep. So if you are like myself, who could play a track of music or listen to something while I'm sleeping, I can just play my affirmations then. And what the affirmations are doing while I'm in that theta and delta state, it's giving me these words. My brain is constantly listening to it. It is soaking, my body is soaking this up. And therefore it's giving me that perspective, that refreshment that I need to get to that self-talk that is saying, this is who you are. And it's changing it to now here. You are beautiful. You are worthy. And you I guess that's the best thing to say. You are beautiful and you are worthy. That's really all you need to hear. And it allows you to get past that ego, get to the inner self, the higher self. And then that becomes your identity. That becomes who you are. You are what you consume, guys. So if you want to better yourself, learn how to consume better things. And you can use affirmations as a great tool to get past that negative self-talk and start to uplift yourself from the inside out. and affirm with yourself that you are worthy, you are beautiful, and your worth is already done. Like, it is already determined. You are worthy, period. No buts about it. Another tool you can use, meditation. People say meditation is hard. Well, everybody got to start somewhere with anything that they do. And I've been meditating probably for 2 years now. I can tell you in the beginning, it was noisy, very noisy. But it is a pet peeve of mine to hear somebody say when meditation is mentioned, I can't get my brain to shut off. Duh, you have to practice in order to do that. It doesn't automatically happen. Stephen Curry didn't become the greatest shooter on earth because one day he walked up and said, I want to play basketball. And then he went out there and just became this great artist of shooting on the court, especially on the NBA stage where the best basketball players in the world play it. It didn't just happen overnight. It is constant work. Details, preparation, and execution. All right? And so it's the same thing with meditation. You get a thought, man, this would be a good time to meditate. Wait, I should put that in my routine. You know, I'll start doing it before I go to bed, or I'll do it when I wake up in the morning before I go to work, before I go out into the world. I will calm myself and get in touch with my inner self. Those different things, that takes practice. And so, again, personally, from my experience, my meditation, I feel, is best suited when I wake up in the morning. I'll do affirmations and I'll do a meditation. Meditation can consist of me just sitting still, but 98% of the time, it's not just sitting still. I am praying to God, talking to the universe, giving it that energy I wish to also pull in and attract, and hoping that it nourishes me and he nourishes me with that protection, that ability that I need to get whatever goals that I have, that I am desiring, shall I say, to manifest, or those things that I'm desiring to attract, to be in receiving mode, in my true self, not within the ego, but to allow the universe and his timing and his work to play out. So meditation, it takes practice. Give it 1 minute for a week. And then next week, give it 2 minutes. And then the next week after that, give it 3 minutes. As long as you are making some type of progress, you are not failing. You're moving towards progression. You are bettering yourself, and therefore you are reaching a goal, which is why I started this. And I wanted to keep it at 10 minutes, but apparently I am pretty good at talking and articulating my thoughts. So it's going way further than 23, but this is not my first time talking to people. And this is not my first time that I probably thought about this either. And so therefore I'm able to have a few things to fall back on, because that takes practice, that takes preparation, that takes execution. Those are the best tools that I have. And then if you need a little more, use your resources. Open a book. You got a phone. Go on Google. Go on YouTube. Go on social media. You know my pages and you follow them, you will see that most of the stuff that I post is really things that I am reading, consuming. They hit me in a certain place. And most of the time it is something that I believe, unless I just think it's for entertainment or funny. But usually, in many cases, I am consuming things that I am trying to use as a resource to make me better. So, one thing to remember, if there's not anything that you remember, you are worthy. People are going to tell you something that is going to shake you at the core and say, I do not feel good enough. I am not good enough. But that is not a fact. That is an opinion. So you can't say, I am not. If you feel that way, that's okay. And then we have those emotions for a reason. Nourish it, feel it, then nourish it, and then allow yourself to overcome that feeling, because you are worthy. You are worthy from the day you were conceived, and you will be worthy after you are gone away from this earth. Believe that. If you don't feel good enough, pray, meditate, affirmations, uplift yourself. Talk to someone that truly loves you. If you need a reminder, just like my brother Trey, who I mentioned in the beginning, will tell me those simple things that just recalibrates me and say, wait a minute. As Nipsey Hussle would say, almost forgot what I was doing. Almost forgot where I was going. Because sometimes in the struggle, in the midst of all the chaos, we tend to forget who we really are. And yeah, you just got to re-identify with that and say, shit, I am worthy. I am the man, woman, whatever you subscribe to. And you pick yourself up and you keep going. And let me give you one more piece of advice. When there is no one else around to build you up, look in the mirror and see who got you. God already got us. But if you need a person in the flesh to remind you, look in the mirror. And that is the person that got you. So when no one else is around, build yourself up, because you are worthy and you have a purpose and you have a mission. And we all need you to push forward towards that mission. So yeah, I think that was a pretty good video for today. Hope I did well. Give me likes, give me comments, tell me what you think, honest opinions. I would also like to have discussions, debates. I think that is a beautiful thing, because it allows us to sharpen our intellect, see things from different perspectives, and therefore create different foundations, or build on foundations that we already had. So please feel free to share, and then please feel free to watch this as many times as you would like and interact. Thank you for your attention. If you made it this far, man, I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. And thanks and praises to the Almighty Father, Jesus Christ. Amen.